Hey y'all, my name is Katie. So good to be talking to you guys again. Today I'm going to be telling the story of how I became the youngest server at the restaurant I work at and how it has really built me as a person and instilled all these great qualities in me that I know I can take throughout the rest of my life. So backtrack, I applied for this job as a hostess when I was 15 years old at this restaurant called The Yard. It's in downtown McKinney, Texas. If you're ever there, let me know. I will be your server and hook you up. But anyways, so I applied for the job. I was super intimidated because this restaurant wasn't open yet and needed a couple months of staff to come in, go through everything. And I had never worked in the service industry before, so little intimidating, but it was super fun. And then actually on my 16th birthday, we had our grand opening, and so that was super fun. But so I was a hostess, and I worked as a hostess for a couple months, and then I quickly became the lead hostess and trained a bunch of the new people. And then once we had a bigger staff, I moved up to being a food runner and a busser. And once I did that for a couple months, I became known as the jack of all trades, basically. And so one day I'd be hosting, then the next day I'd be food running or busing, or that night I would be hosting. So I was honestly everywhere. Like, some people might think that's stressful, but it was honestly really cool to me just to know that the restaurant knew I had their back and they could literally put me wherever they needed to and I would be ready for it. And I was the one person there that could do that. So that was super rewarding to me to know that my hard work was showing and that I could show the restaurant that I'm here for them and I can do whatever they need me to do. So proved myself to be able to do all of that. And then I knew when I was going to be 18 that I wanted to be a server because serving seemed like so much fun. I'd never done it before and I knew I had no experience, but seemed super fun being able to socialize with all these people and make a lot of money while doing it. So I was like, that's what I want to do. So talked to my managers and they wanted me to do it so bad. They were like, you'd be great for it. You know the restaurant, you know the ins and outs. I would just have to study the alcohol because that was the major concern because every server there was 21 and up. So went back and forth on it. Basically, there was a little conflict with me not being 21 just because I'm not as intelligent about the alcohol as the people who are that can drink, you know? So I actually made this book that was like all of the drinks listed out, any drink that anyone would ever ask for that's not on the menu, took notes on it, took what it would taste like, took notes on like what our cocktails were similar to, and basically just studied every single night as if it was like a class just on this little menu just so I could prove myself. So I was kind of a nerd about that, but that's okay. So then after a bunch of training and took a couple tests and proved myself that I knew what I was doing, I knew that I could talk about these things. The owners and the VPs were like, okay, you're serving, but you're also the youngest server that's ever gonna work here because you're 18 and we are only taking people 21 and up. So that was kind of intimidating to me, just knowing that I would have to hold my own and they would be watching me with a close eye because I am like the baby of the restaurant and the youngest server there. So I knew I was gonna be under a radar, but quickly built my confidence just to know like, hey, I can do this. It's honestly not that hard. Just know your stuff and you'll be good. And actually worked my way up to be one of the trainers for the incoming servers. And there's only like 3 to 4 of us that do that on our whole staff. So that was really cool that I knew that I could show them what I was doing and that they trusted me to train other people, even though I was the youngest one there. And so from this story, it's really the big takeaway for me is the confidence, because going into this restaurant, like as I was a host, I was still super shy, scared to talk to people, scared to confront people, scared to ask questions. But being a server has honestly built my confidence so much, which I knew I was going to need through college, obviously. So the confidence was a huge thing that I've taken away from this story. But also responsibility, just knowing that I have to be at my job at the right time, doing my thing, making money for the restaurant, but also for myself, and making the guests have a good time. So that was a huge thing that I took away from being a server as well, is that it's not all about me. Like, you have responsibility for other people as well. And that's a big thing in life that I think that is going to help me a lot. And then the last thing is my people skills and socialization. So being a server, you have to have people skills. You can't just, not talk to them and like be awkward and stuff, like you have to be able to talk to people, be able to like conversate with them, and be able to just ask questions if you're like scared of what they said. Because whenever I first started, if I didn't hear something, I would be scared to be like, what'd you say? Because I'm just a nervous wreck. But yeah, so those are the 3 main things I could take away from that story. Being a server was so much fun. I know it's intimidating, but if you ever have the chance, I would say go for it. You make great money and it's super fun. But thank you guys so much for listening, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again.